Hello guys, this is Inan from Quantify Ninja. Today we're going to talk about the bot manager and how to create a conversation on your Facebook business page. So first you need to go to the Facebook bot manager menu, and then on your first time you will have a button to grant access to your Facebook. We need this access in order to trigger a conversation and doing all the rest of the features here. We have to have an access. So once you grant an access, you will see the list of all conversation that you've already created. On first time, of course, it's going to be empty. So what you can do here is create a new conversation by clicking this button, and the edit page will be opened. On the top, you will have the name of the conversation. This is just a default name, but you can set any name you want. So let's call it my conversation. Then select the page that you want to trigger this conversation on. We have multiple pages, but you can just select any of the pages. The trigger is basically payload. This is the default option. The payload means actually no actual trigger, but you can take this payload and if you want to trigger this conversation from a Facebook ad. So if someone clicks on your ad, you want the messenger to pops out, then you can set it on the ad settings in case if you have an ad for Facebook Messenger, then there's a section there where you can set the payload, and then this is how Facebook knows which conversation to trigger. However, we do not recommend using the payload as a trigger to conversation because you have a get.json which is more flexible, and the payload basically has some limitation. We will talk about it later, but just know that it's better to have to get JSON instead of having the payload if you want to trigger the conversation from an ad. And last, you can set the tag for this specific conversation. So if you create a conversation and you want that anyone who interacts with your bot on this specific conversation will be tagged on with a special with a unique tag, this is possible, and then you can just retarget them. So if you have a specific conversation that you want the users who have who've started talking to the bot will be tagged with this specific tag, you can do that and then retarget them later. Now on the edit screen, we'll go down a little bit. We have testers. So as you can see here, we have the icon of Facebook, and where you can see all the tests that you can run before you actually deploy to your business page. You can test it here, or you can test it on your actual business page, but I think it's more comfortable to use it here. If you want to test it on your target page, then you can just click here, and then the icon will be gone, and when you click test, it will be sent to your profile, but you will need to define the tester. Same goes here. At the beginning, you will have to set the tester, so you will have without testers here, and then when you click test, it will actually sends you instructions. You can just copy this code and then just paste it here, and then you will be set as a tester. Since I am already a tester, and you can define as many testers as you want. Since I'm already a tester, then I will just set my name on this page, and then let's go full screen and see what are the options. So the first option would be the text, which is the most common element. So you can just say, hi there. Let's say, how are you? And then you can already, let's just remove the menu. You can already test it. So if I click test, you will see it, right? This is test on this page, right? So this is the what we wrote. We can add buttons. So if we want to add buttons, so let's add, I don't know, 3 buttons, and let's just say, okay, not so good, and I don't know, so. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now if I test it again, then we'll see all the buttons that we just created. If we want to set response to a button, then we can just click on a button and then click on the text. Happy to hear. And then if I click save, you don't need even to start the test again. You can just click on OK if you save it. And then you see the text that we just added. So these are text and buttons. You can also add images. So if I want to add an image after that, I can just click on the image and paste the URL or upload it from my computer. So if I go to my computer, I will just take one image, for example. Let's take, you can see this, but if you you will see the file explorer, and then you can just select any image from your computer, and then do save again and test. And when I click the OK button, it should read me, I'm happy to hear that, and then with the image. I'm happy to hear that, and then the image. Now, another option would be to use the generic template. So you see when I click on this button, you see the flow from this button, and when I click on this button, you'll see the flow for this button, but currently it's empty. So let's add a generic template. A generic template is basically an image with buttons. So let's add an image. Let's take, I don't know, let's say, take just a simple image. And then we have a title that we can set and subtitle. So this is a title, and this is a subtitle. And let's say that click me, and then I want another button. So I'll just add go to my website, and then because we want them to go to the website, this should be with a URL link. So let's set the URL https quantifyninja.com. Right. So now we can already test it. So let's click on the test. And let's write, this is the flow of not so good. So let's click on not so good. So as you can see, this comes with an image and a button and a go to website. And if I click the button, it does not go away. I can click it again and again. And this is much better than having a simple buttons, because on simple buttons, as you can see here, if I scroll a little bit up, there were 3 options, and I clicked on the not so good. And at this point, all buttons were gone. So this is why I really recommend using the generic templates, because the user can always scroll up and click again and again. Click on, go to my website. When I click it, it just goes straight to the website. So you can see it just took me to the website. And then if we set a button, so let's say that we want to add another button, and we want to say to the user, if you want a coupon code, so just click here to get a coupon. Click here to get a coupon. So this is another option where you can actually pre-upload coupons in advance to the system, and then send it over one by one. So let's say that the user clicks on this button. So I'm standing on this button, and then I'm adding a text. And in this text, I would want to write, here you go. And then let's add the coupon code. I just click in the coupon, and then this would be the list of coupons that you have pre-uploaded. So let's take just one of them, and then let's do the test. And I will click on the not so good, and then it will show me the generic template with the 3 options. And then I click to get a coupon code, and there you go, the coupon code. This is just one single-use coupons. But usually, if you give a coupon code, you want to make sure that the user, you want to have the maximum out of it. So if you already gave a coupon code, you really want the user to leave a review on your listing, right? So what you want to do is just tag the users who clicks the get a coupon, and just tag them with a specific tag. So you can add tag here, but you can already use a tag that you have already created. So let's just take in a coupon, and this would be our tag, and I will save it. And now anyone that clicks on this button will be tagged with taking a coupon. So if I want to, I can, in a few weeks from now, go to everyone who clicks on this button and then retarget them with a new message, with a new conversation that asking them how is the product, and if they can share a review, even give them the link or explanation on how to do that. And this is how you create a conversation. There are also actions. If you want to have an actions, let's say that the user clicks on so, we can add actions, and actions could be subscribe or unsubscribe. Unsubscribe is basically remove them from the list, so any retargeting will not happen, will not be executed on the profile who clicks the unsubscribe. You should always give them the option to unsubscribe. And subscribe is basically a button that will do nothing if the user has not been unsubscribed before. So basically, if you give them the option to unsubscribe, I would advise to send them a generic template with the option to subscribe again, because sometimes they just did it not in purpose, or maybe they want to subscribe again. So it's better to give them the option to subscribe in a generic template where the buttons are not stay there forever. And then you can also set the typing status or delay. So if I click typing status, I can say, okay, I want to have 2 seconds with typing status, and then write this word. It's been in 2 seconds. Okay. And then I can just test it and click on so, and then as you can see, typing status, and then it's been 2 seconds. Okay, so we covered all the important things about creating the conversation. Now, how do we trigger those conversations? Well, we have several ways. The first way would be to trigger with a payload. So as I said before, if you use the payload on the ad settings on Facebook, then this would be a trigger for this conversation. But we really encourage you to use the get.json rather than using the payload. Another option would be to set it as a get started option. And if the trigger would be a get started, this means that anyone that goes to your business page and then clicks send message, this conversation will be triggered. Another option would be a specific text. So you can just set a text, a specific text. So for example, if the user say hi, then this conversation will be triggered. Let's see an example. So if I save it and then I go to this page, it is just testing, I think, just testing. So this is the name of the page. So I just type hi, and this should trigger the conversation, right? But if I write anything else, hi one, then it will not trigger any conversation. Another option would be to set any text to trigger this conversation. So default text would be like anyone that writes anything, then this conversation will pops up. Except for the specific, if you have another conversation with specific text, then this will not be applied to the specific text, but for any other text, it will be applied. At the bottom, you have a direct link to the conversation. This is convenient if you want to send someone a link to start this conversation. You can use this as a underlying button on your website. For example, if someone clicks on a specific button, then he could it could be triggered with a link to the conversation. And I think that's it. Well, next video will be on auto response. This would be another option to trigger a conversation. You can trigger conversation if the a user wrote a specific word in a specific post on your Facebook business page, and a lot of users uses this for when they launch a new product. They write something on the page, something like rate coupon on a comment in this post, and you get a free coupon code or a discounted coupon code. And then when they write the word coupon, then the messenger pops up, and then you start conversation, and then apart from the in the conversation you give them a coupon code. And this is very convenient because not only that you share a coupon code and then the user takes the coupon codes and purchase your product, it's also that you have the details of this buyer, of this profile. You can go to a subscriber list and see him, and then you can trigger a conversation specifically to him, talk to him, send him something, add him to a funnel of conversations, and do a lot of things that we're going to talk about later. Okay, so this is about it. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.